He did it. He actually did it. The guy actually bombed Iran. Now, for someone that was voted in on the pretext that I'm going to end all wars, there will be no new wars, America will finally be at peace, America wouldn't get involved in any foreign wars, this seems to obviously contradict the whole movement and one of the biggest reasons why he was actually elected as the president of the United States. Now, actually, in my opinion, you can actually make a case that this prevents some sort of danger to America, right? Because considering Iran is an enemy of the United States, so probably doing this probably like alleviates some level of danger towards them. But any MAGA fans, any American fans that actually voted for this guy, what actually is your thought process? Because on one hand, you could say, hey, he made our country safer because one of our enemies doesn't have the opportunity for a nuclear weapon. On the other hand, you could say, I voted for you on the basis that you wouldn't do this, and you've done it. Genuinely, what are MAGA fans actually thinking about right now? But obviously, right after the operation, it came out to speak to obviously explain everything. And we're about to check that out right now. But before getting into it, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you like the video, drop a like. It will be massively appreciated. Let's get into it.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's.
Now, actually, because I thought it would eventually intervene, right? United States would intervene. But I actually thought the weapons that's actually required, because the only weapon that could actually penetrate through these nuclear sites are United States weapons. Like, they're the only ones who have the capabilities to do it. I originally expected them to actually give the Israeli soldiers the equipment and the weapons they will actually carry out. But I'm very surprised he actually sent the American troops over there to actually get the job done. But that's probably because the expertise required, right? It takes a lot of time to actually train to be able to deploy these kind of missiles, right? So that's probably why. But it probably like makes sense that he actually had to do it. And then also, right, because people could say, oh my God, they actually bombed Iran. These are nuclear sites, and hopefully they are very well targeted. Hopefully, because if this isn't very well targeted and it actually escalates and it becomes a problem in the country, there could be some serious backlash, genuinely.
Nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Now, do Americans believe that? Okay, because if he tells, because some people do actually believe Iran is a terrorist organization. The people, not the people that actually live there, but the people in charge of the country, they are a terrorist group. I mean, they are like Hezbollah, Hamas, right? They do sponsor these like terrorist regimes. But do Americans believe that? Because if you believe there are terrorist organizations, then it's probably good that terrorist organizations don't have nuclear weapons, especially ones that chant death to America, death to America. But do Americans believe that? Because some people don't believe there's any interest at all for America to make sure these groups don't have nuclear weapons. But if you do believe they are a terrorist group, and you do believe the reports from the IEA, considering they've been making uranium above the recommended threshold in the contracts that was signed in the JCPOA, then you could say, okay, it makes sense that America would intervene because it also protects Americans as well. Because considering like this conflict between both countries. But do Americans believe that? That's the problem. Do you believe that or not? If you don't believe that, then you probably just think, oh my God, it's entered a new war for no reason.
The bully of the Middle East must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Oh my God. Wow. He's not holding back. Jesus Christ. Imagine bombing a country and then telling everyone, oh, after I just bombed the country, it's time to talk about peace. I just bombed all your shit, but now let's talk peace.
For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. The They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope.
Hopefully. Hopefully. That's a big hopefully they actually you don't actually need them anymore, because if Iran was to retaliate or to start another project, probably we'll need it all over again.
That's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken.
That's a threat right there. He's letting them know, hey, I didn't just blow this up to stop this at the moment. Anytime you take a step towards like another nuclear weapon or any step to try and retaliate on the United States, there will be further attacks. I think it actually shows, right? Because he's been very reserved when it comes to his answers. They've asked him, are you going to intervene or not? He said, I don't know. I might not. In the next 2 weeks, you're probably going to get my opinion. It was only 3 days ago that the reports came out that he was going to make his decision in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. So basically, he fooled everyone that, oh, it would happen in 2 weeks. But underneath, he was already planning the whole plan. He had everything sorted. Because 2 weeks, that's still like a week and a half away. Literally 3 days ago, reports came out he was going to make his decision in the next 2 weeks. Wow, this clearly isn't a one-time thing. He knows that any little movement towards a nuclear weapon will be obstructed instantly.
Out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight.
That is true. That's to go in with that much stealth. Nobody saw it coming. Literally, like that is quite impressive.
Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Now, if you ask me, how does this actually end? I don't think Iran is actually going to send missiles towards the United States. That would be criminal, okay? That could just trigger Article 5 in NATO. That makes no sense. They could attack the United States bases close to Israel or in the Middle East. That probably isn't good either. In my opinion, I think that Iran, if they are going to retaliate, it will probably be on Israel. Israel probably will be probably the biggest beneficiary from this. And also, considering Iran could also retaliate, they probably could be the biggest victim of this, because any retaliatory action probably will be directed at Israel. But hey, here we are. How does this end? Who knows? But we'll see, hopefully. But if you're new here, one more time, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like.